Hi, Misha here, and this will be a quick one, and we'll look at another model of the Mitsubishi Zero or Zeek. And I've covered the Zero many times in the past and probably will do many times in the future. But this is a new one that just came in the country. It's a 1/72 scale diecast model from Agostini, who inherited the IXO tooling and is continuing and in some cases improving, expanding the line. And this is a neat example. I have shown you the A6M2 Model 21. I've shown you the M3, the M5. But what we have here is the A6M2A Model 11. Essentially, this was the first production model, if you will. It first entered service in 1940. The original prototype flew in 1939. Technically, it would have been the A6M1. They made a few changes. They went to a 3-bladed propeller. But the A6M2, the Model 11 here, was the first production model. And interestingly, it was a land-based aircraft. The Japanese Navy doesn't just operate carrier-based planes. They have plenty of land-based. And so when they started to issue the Zero, it was a land-based. And these were put into service in July in China of 1940, and they first saw combat in August, and they had a very good track record. They were going up against Russian planes like the I-16, and they only made about 65 of the Model 11 Mini went to China, but they had such a good combat record there that only 2 were lost, and these were actually lost to ground fire, not other aircraft. The Chinese aircraft, they were just outclassed. This aircraft had very good armament for the day. 2 20mm cannon, 2 7.7mm machine guns, although the ammunition capacity was quite limited. And as everyone knows now, this aircraft had no self-sealing fuel tanks, no armor for the pilot, so while it was light and maneuverable, it made sacrifices to get there. And early versions had less powerful engines, and as the war would go on, the plane would be changed and upgraded and kept in service for a very long time. They would build well over 10,000. But yeah, this model here is kind of from the first production run, circa 1941 in China, where it would have been serving. And these Agostini models have spinning propellers. They have gear up or down, and they're pretty much all metal. The wing and fuselage are metal, just the parts of the tail are plastic. And they're inexpensive, $20-30, and you get a magazine with them. Of course, it's in Japanese, but there you go, these are imports. What separates the Model 11 from the more famous Model 21 used at Pearl Harbor? Essentially, the Model 11 had fixed wings. The Model 21, the wingtips could fold up because it was on a carrier. Also, of course, the Model 21 would have a tail hook, again for carrier operations. And there would be other changes as time would go on. The 11 is basically meaning the first airframe and first engine kind of configuration. When they went to the wings, they got the 2 and so on and so forth, up through the 3 and so on. Japanese naming, it makes sense, but a lot of it is through American vidges and interpretation, so don't take it with 100% faith. And yeah, when this started to come in, I at first almost didn't pick one up because I have so many Zeros, and a lot of websites weren't marketing it as A6M2A or Model 11. But luckily a couple did, and I noticed that it was, and it says it right on the stand. And while the model is not 100% perfect as far as features and details, considering that it's using, tooling that has to be modified for several designs and what have you, and considering that it's relatively inexpensive, I can forgive a lot. The construction's good, the doors for the landing gear fit nice and tight, the propeller moves easy, it's got a good heft to it, paint's perfectly adequate. It's a neat little plane, and I'm glad I picked it up. Now I can say I've got an early one because I've got a couple of the M5s, including an M5C. And if you want, maybe one day I'll get all the zeros out again and do another kind of big zero video. But for now, just wanted to spotlight this little plane, because this is a pre-Pearl Harbor land-based Mitsubishi Zero, and one back when they were having a very good time for them and a very bad time in China. Well, if you like this little model, I've covered quite a few of the Agostini and IXOs and what have you, so you might like to check those out. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them below. And if you could, like, share, and subscribe. This is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon. Next time.